All right, we're going to be looking at central limit theorem sample mean. Now, again, we need to look at our vocabulary and formula chart. When we're looking here, we have a couple of different pieces of information. We have our first variable, which is our mu, is our given mean. Our sigma is our standard deviation. N stands for the number of trials, and X stands for the sample mean. And then our formula is the sample mean minus the given mean divided by the standard deviation, which is divided by the square root of the number of trials. You want to make sure you just take a minute to write that down so you don't have to be going back and forth and back and forth. I'm going to write it down really quickly so that I have it saved. It just makes life a little bit easier when we're going through. We're going to be using our Alex calculator for this as well. So we have alcohol withdrawal occurs when a person who uses alcohol excessively suddenly stops the alcohol use. Studies have shown that the onset of the withdrawal is experienced a mean of 40.5 hours after the last drink. That's our given mean. That's what we expect to happen, with a standard deviation of 18 hours. A sample of 40 people who use alcohol excessively is to be taken. What is the probability that the sample mean taken, or the sample mean between the last drink and the onset of withdrawal, will be 37.5 hours or more? Okay, so we're looking at or more. So when we look at our Z here, our Z is less than. So you have to remember, we always put a 1 minus if it's not going in the direction we want. So it's not asking for less than, it's asking for more than. And now we're going to do our formula. Our sample mean, which is 37.5, minus our given mean, which is 40.5, divided by our standard deviation, which was 18, over the square root of the number of trials, which was 40. And we get 0.854, 3 decimal places. Let's try one more. So a study of college football games showed that the number of holding penalties assessed has a mean of 2.3. That's our given mean. Standard deviation is 1.1. What's the probability for a sample of 40 college games to be played next week that the mean of the holding penalties will be 2.05 or less? So it says less, so we're just going to be able to push the button. We don't need to put the 1 minus in there. So again, now we can do our formula. It is going to be our sample mean, which is 2.05, minus our given mean, which is 2.3. Our standard deviation, which is 1.1, and the square root of the number of trials, which is 40. And we round to 3 decimal places, 0.075. So again, you want to remember and be very, very careful of whether it's asking for more or less. And when it's asking for more, you have to write 1 minus P.